Hey guys, I just wanted to do a quick little PSA on the rolling back take from the turtle position. As you guys are aware, there was an incident a few years back where a black belt athlete used the rolling back take against a relatively experienced white belt, and the black belt explosively jumped for a diving back take from the turtle, similar to what you see Leo Vieira do back in the day.
I roll over my shoulder, pushing your head down, because it's like a neck crank that forces you to roll. At the same time, that's what makes the position be safe for you to hurt your neck. So roll, I hold, it's like I hold myself, I go like to north-south myself, but the way that I press, your hand making you roll.
Unfortunately, due to the explosive force from the movement, as well as the fact that the white belt unfortunately looked the wrong way, resulted in quite a serious neck injury, which left him paralyzed from the neck down. Thankfully, however, he's restored function in his limbs, but again, the main issue is the fact that he got injured in the first place. And just wanted to clarify that I'm not actually placing the blame on either of the parties. It's more so a result of people not being aware of, I guess, the risks of doing this move. So if we take an example of, say, a leg scissors takedown, a Kani Basami, a lot of the time, if it's done incorrectly, it can result in a knee injury. And so it took, obviously, a lot of knee injuries for people to realize this, and at some gyms they've actually banned that takedown in training, and instead they've used like a substitute position for that, such as a victory roll. So with this rolling back take, again, it's basically the two people that are involved in the move need to know what's happening and how it can go bad. Biggest issue with this position is that people just perceive it as just a back take. Okay, I'm just trying to take the guy's back. There's no way I can injure my opponent. But unfortunately, with the circumstances of this position, especially because we're relying on placing weight into the upper body, unfortunately, it is actually a very risky position. Okay, so we have to actually keep this in mind every time we're using this position in training and also in competition as well. So from the person on top, we have to look at the positioning of our opponent's head and neck. Ideally, when I'm doing this back take, I want to make sure my opponent's head and neck is rotated away from me. In other words, I want my opponent to be looking away from me, not towards me. And again, if I'm the one having the rolling back take done to me, if I can identify this, which is usually if my opponent has double underhooks or a seatbelt from a turtle position, I have to make sure that I'm not actually looking towards them. So we're just going to go through it very slowly. What I'm looking for when I do this back take is I want Mark's head to look towards his left as I roll over my right shoulder, and kind of forcing him to roll over his right shoulder as well. Now, what we can imagine here is if Mark looked towards me and I started to put all my weight through his right shoulder while he's looking towards me, if I were to force Mark to roll over his right shoulder now, you can see how his neck, or rather his ear, is being pushed to his shoulder. And if I were to put all my body weight into him and pull him over, his head and his neck would be twisted and laterally flexed to this side. And obviously, once we go past this range, with a lot of force behind it as well, this is where we can see serious neck injuries. Okay, so what we're looking for instead is from the person on top. When I go for this back take, I'm looking at which way Mark is facing. If he's looking towards me, I'm actually going to use a cross face to make him turn away. And for whatever reason, if I can't turn Mark's head away from me, I'm actually not going to go for this back take, especially if it's in training. And even in a competition, I'm not going to risk potentially changing my partner's life for the worst so that I can get 4 points or submit them. Okay, now obviously if his face is looking away, I'm actually okay to do this back take. Now, another note on this as well, I don't prefer to do the forwards headstand back take, again, because it's very explosive. What we're looking for here is using more of like a hip switch. So I place my shoulder behind Mark's head, and I'm using this pressure to make him look away from me, my head goes next to his head, and my rear leg back steps through as I start to pull him through. Looking at it from the turtle player's perspective, again, if Mark's on my right side and I feel him take double underhooks or a seatbelt, I'm not going to look towards him. Obviously, we have a lot of defenses and reversals from the turtle where we look towards our partner, but if I can start to feel Mark, especially with a seatbelt, if he starts to place his head on the floor here, if we do this very, very slowly, you see here, if Mark starts to put weight through here, my neck is getting twisted, and if he actually does the back take correctly with my head facing the wrong way, I can snap my neck here. So the moment I feel Mark start to initiate this position, which is usually anytime he is on either side of my body with a seatbelt or double underhooks, I take that seatbelt, I'm actually, as he starts to put weight through, I'm actually going to look away so that I can save my neck. Again, yes, I will be having to defend a back take from here, but at the same time as well, it's my fault for getting into the turtle in the first place. Once I'm turtled, I have to make sure that I'm also looking out for my neck safety, because again, this is a very common back take move from the turtle, and we have to be wary of the potential risks of doing this move.